Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Norm America's show. I don't know what's going on here. Um, didn't go live on X. Ah, what? Oh my goodness, terrible. Yeah, that circuit guy's Nick's beating Andrew. I'm sure that's a blast. I'm sure it's a lot of fun. Anyways, where have I been? I had some stuff going on last night. Car troubles, not mine, but a friend of mine, and so we were working on that. And by the time I got back, eh. Plus, my wasn't feeling so hot last night. My herniated disc in my back it's been feeling pretty good. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to with it. I'm not taking any medication, just Tylenol once in a while. I was very worried about taking pain pills. So they give you these. I was like, I'm not going to take any opioid or anything. So they give you these like nerve pills. It was called gabapentin. I took them very sparingly. So I haven't taken them for months. And I'm just trying. And then I don't know what happened. If it just slept wrong or what, but man, my back's just been killing me. So I got to get back in and see the doctor. So apologies. So other things going on worth talking about. Computer, we're waiting on RAM or something. Should be done soon. Once that gets in, we're going to turn a corner here on the show and start doing some more short form videos and daytime stuff. There's some announcements on that stuff, the daytime streams, call-in shows, things of that nature, but it's secret. It's gonna have to wait. Suffice to say, we get a lot of trolls going on and what have for the daytime calling show. What's up, Grid? So, restless leg syndrome, restless brain syndrome. So, yeah, it was a good day though. Yesterday, well, since I've last seen you, my wife had a parent teacher association meeting yesterday. So it was me and the Hank man. I made hot dogs for dinner. That's right. Now, before you get too crazy, we did buy for my lazy ass one of those hot dog roller machines, just a real small one. So, but my man was pleased. He loves hot dogs. So we had hot dogs and we watched he's really been into sea monsters lately. So we found these YouTube videos on like legends of sea monsters around the world. He likes one called a bloop. It's like a big circle mouth. I don't know. Anyways, so he goes to. I love his school. I think they're great. Uh, he's in a preschool with like 10 kids. It's a Catholic school. It's where my wife went to school. It's where our church is, and it's very cool. He will probably he'll go through 6th grade and only have 3 or 4 people in each of his classes. But you get to know the teachers and everything, and pretty cool. Anyways, my son comes back today. I'm talking up the school. Now I'm going to disparage it a little. Not really. I'm going to have to interview my man Sandy Peterson again because my son comes back. He's like, "Dad, do you know who Cthulhu is?" I was like, "Yeah." What? What? He's like, "We were talking about Cthulhu at school." What is happening at the Catholic schools? Man, talking about Cthulhu, but I guess they watched a movie on sea monsters. It didn't get into it much. It's just showing images of them. So, but trams, that's scary, but amazing news, man. I'm so glad to hear. I'm so glad to hear everything's fine. It's a scary moment, man, when there's problems. I was pretty fortunate with Hank. I'll tell the story real quick. Uh, Hank, my wife was in labor for a full day. So they were going to induce labor in the evening or like in the AM, like 3 a.m. But then they had an emergency come in. And so we ended up, she was in labor till like 8 a.m. And so they decided they were going to induce and they take her into a different room. And with me, they're like, wait here. And they had me put these like scrubs on and everything. Okay. And I'm sitting there waiting, and all of a sudden an alarm goes off, and I'm just in this room by myself. It's just the alarms going off, and I'm like watching people go down the hallway towards where they took my wife, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, what is that? Right? Like, and no one's coming to me, which makes it even worse because you figure, okay, if it's just some slight complication, they would say, okay, sir, here's what's happening with your wife or with your son. But no, uh, instead, instead, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh crap, And finally, like a nurse walks by and looks in and sees me, and I'm like looking out the window, and she's like, are you with Courtney? I said, yeah, is everything all right? And here it was just a fire drill. She's like, oh yeah, you're probably freaking out. She's like, yeah, you're fine. I'll take you over. Everything's good. I was like, oh my goodness. But I was like hyperventilating because I'm like, I don't know. Here's an alarm. Like, I thought it was like, off of ER or something. Like, oh shit, there's a code blue or whatever the fuck that means. I don't know. But it all worked out well. Grid, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man, about your mom. We'll be praying for you, man. I'm sorry to hear that, man. So, but yeah, it's been a week. Um, I got this candle. I don't care for it much. I think my wife picked it out. It's buttery vanilla, sugared lemon, and sweet blueberry. I think the blueberry will be all right once I get there. But I don't really care for the smell of candles that much. You know what I do like, though? The smell of a just burned out candle. Why can't they just make the scent that? Just burned out candle. I would buy that. That's what I want. I want a candle that's the scent is just burned out candle. Yeah, good luck to Andrew. Eat the candle. Yeah, I'll eat the candle. $50. No, thanks. Nope, 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 nope. Yeah, just carbon. I like that smell. Or gasoline. Though I would hesitate to light something that smelled like gasoline. My mother-in-law had one that was like pecan pie or something. That's my favorite one I ever. I wouldn't think I would like a candle that smelled like that, but like, I don't know. It must be the fat guy in me. I'm like, someone cooking pie up in here? Nah, it's just a candle. I'm like, oh. So. All right. Suppose we'll get into politics and what have and whatnot. It'll be a slow stream tonight. That's okay. We don't mind. Now, I did reset my goal back to 357 because, I don't know, we weren't getting to the 1,000 that often anyways. And 357 was nice. Plus, if it's not at 357, then how the hell can I play this awesome magical clip? So I'm sure we'll get there. $357 tonight or not. That's okay. We're fine either way. It's just fun to be here with you all. This news cycle hasn't been fun, has it? It's been shit. I think I do this every couple years. I piss off like a solid third of my audience. It'll happen. The video we put up of the guy, like, it still frustrates the shit out of me. What frustrates me the most about that Andrew's debating that Nick guy. I'm too arrogant. On some ways, I'm very much like a yin and a yang person, right? Maybe bipolar is a better way to put it. I'm very humble. I am, for real. Like, I think I'm pretty good at debate. Pretty good. And there's things I'm good at, but there's also things I'm horrible at. And, I've said this before. I remember my grandpa telling me that basically you're not better than anyone and no one's better than you, right? Like, you got to keep it humble. Keep it, when you walk into the room and you're with a bunch of like geniuses or politicians or wealthy people, they're no better than you. But if you walk into the, the redneck bar where everyone's broke and didn't graduate high school. You're no better than them. Obviously, there's moral, you know, conundrums with that, what have, but you get it. Um, but one of the problems I have with debate, and this has been showing up a lot recently, is I'm so arrogant, even when I'm talking to a brick wall, I feel like I can get through to it. I can. So that debate with that Nick guy was the perfect example last Thursday or 2 Thursdays ago. It did not matter. Like, that was like a 5-hour debate. And like, I'm like, you know, if A, then B, right? Yep. And if B, then C, right? Yep. And if C, then D, right? Yep. So then D, right? Nope. Okay, let's go back to A. Like, it was, and sometimes I think I just have to learn, whether it be people just are bad faith or if people just aren't getting it. Sometimes I think that I need to just realize, like, you're just like, okay, I've said my piece. And that's how I feel about the video that my editor, Black Elk, who's amazing, put up here the other day about the Epstein files with that dude that called in. I don't know what to say. Like, I know the comments, because sometimes with things like that, I think, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Am I wrong? And with that exchange, like, it's amazing to me. I was talking to a friend in real life today. I was like, it's amazing how many times I find myself in the past week or so defending shit that I don't want to defend, because I'm defending it on the actual merits of the argument as opposed to my feelings on it. So I think Kash Patel's been absolute dog shit. That's my feeling. And I have no problem for people that say, I think Patel and his FBI are continuing to cover up crimes of Jeffrey Epstein or continuing to cover up crimes of sort of Crossfire Hurricane, and it's probably true. But when people make big claims, and that's the problem with the Epstein discourse, and it's also the problem with the Iran discourse. It's like, I don't like how Trump's teams handled either of those at all, right? But the problem is the hyperbolic reaction from the other side, where it's like, well, that's because, you know, Trump's in the files, or they're covering up for PDFs. I saw it. And, you know, ever since this latest batch of the Epstein files came out, like, what, a month or so ago, listen, I'm right there with you. I want to see some sort of proof, like, here it is. Here's something that's tangible that you're like, fuck these people. I don't care if it's Trump, if it's Kash Patel, if it's Bill Clinton, if it's Mossad, if it's fucking the DNC, the RNC. I don't care. Fuck them. I just don't care. But increasingly what I see is the evidence isn't there public for that sort of stuff. Now there's speculation. Are there code words and stuff? Maybe. I have at. Like, I'm not discrediting you. It's like, okay. But it's very much like people just make these claims. And I see it a lot in the left, and that's why it's so discouraging to see on the right as well. Well, Trump's a PDF. Oh, okay. Can you show me? You saw that in the files? Yep, I saw it in the files. Can you show me that? Can you show me in the files? I'm with you, man. If he is, let him burn in hell. Impeach him immediately. Let the dude burn in hell. Sure. Okay, can I see the proof? Wow. You know, what about this? Oh, the Tiffany Doe allegations from 2016? Yeah, we've been talking about that for 10 years. There's really nothing there. Oh, yeah? What about this? An anonymous tip to the FBI in 2019 that the FBI looked into and said they didn't see anything there? Oh, yeah? Yeah? Well, you know, and it's just like, yeah, and like with Trump specifically, it's like the tangible stuff. Like, again, we talked about this a million times. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but the tangible stuff where it's like actual, like, not just innuendo from some anonymous person reporting or some lawsuit that was dropped, but like interview with the police officer, emails, things like that. It's pointing towards, at least at some point around 2006, Trump was like cooperating with police. Then Kash Patel, I think Patel sucked. But the caller's like, I watched Patel lie and mislead in Congress. Now, I've heard this claim. And I'm like, everyone that makes that claim, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what specifically? Can you show me the clip? And it's all wishy-washy. If your general theme wants to be like, I think Patel's intentionally not looking because he knows that he'll find powerful people and his job's to protect those powerful people. I'm like, all right, I'll listen to that. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's fair criticism. Okay. But when you're like, I saw it. I saw the files. They came out and showed he lied. And then you're like, okay, sure, let's see it. Wow. Can you show me the clip where he lied to Congress? And, I think what people didn't get about that clip was the reason that I was so... I tried to explain this, but here's what happens when, this is what happens. Someone will say, Trump's a fascist. And I'm like, wow, so many ways it's so hard to count. He's, done 500 things that are fascist. So he's just a fascist. Okay, man, let's hammer down on one. Can we do that? Sure, that's Brian Shapiro, right? Can we just pick one? Let's focus on one of the things that you have a critic. Let's look at it. What exactly is it that you have a problem with? And then oftentimes what you find is it's like, there's nothing there. And I think that that's sort of what this caller was doing, where it was like, I think the caller just generally thinks Kash Patel's a shithead, and it's like, he's making claims that seem self-evident. How could you traffic victims to nobody? Right. It sounds ridiculous. Now, the traffic was to Epstein himself. That was the one charge. But presumably, there had to be people that Epstein was sending hookers to. Even if you believe that, it's like, well, where is the blatant lie? I've said this from the get-go. Maybe that evidence exists. Maybe it once existed and then the FBI burned it a long time ago or scrapped it. Maybe it's being intentionally hidden by Kash Patel. I'm cool if you show me evidence of that. So you're like, he blatantly lied. And what the guy comes up with is the reason I'm like, let's go step by step. And the first thing he says is, when Kennedy asked him, did Epstein traffic underagers to himself? And his response was, yes, that's why he was arrested in 2019, that's somehow shady. I don't find that shady at all. It was as if he was trying to say, he's covering up for, clearly he was doing this all the while, but he's only talking about the 2019 case. And then he'll say, oh no, what I meant was that there were no co-conspirators in 2019 with that specific case. I don't think that's what happened at all. The truth. Also, I noticed, why do you speak in all caps all the time? Because you're one of the people I saw in the comments. Even in the comments, it seems like you just speak in all caps. I don't get it. Is what you're saying more important than everyone else? Is that what the all caps is? Now, I know it's rich coming from me, who's like a loud bastard. But I'm kind of the talking version of all caps. See? All caps. I don't get it. Your keybind is caps? If everyone writes in all caps. There we go. Well, all right. So here's what you say. Guys, the editing in the video is unfair. It more or less seems like there was a real point to be made, but Rob incorrectly pulls a clip, which the guy states clearly, then proceeds to defend his argument against the wrong clip. Instead of remedying the situation, we get the typical go fuck yourself, here's the proof. The caller's reply seems out of tone, as if inserted. We'll see a major frame jump in Rob's head. Timestamp 101 to 107 by 111. It's clear there's an audio issue, and the caller says the delay got fucked up or something to that effect. By 116, he clearly states not the part I'm talking about. Then we get an hour of screaming and pouting. So I'm glad someone with this criticism. Well, that's not what happened. Even at the end of the video, he is making the central claim that when Kash Patel says he was arrested in 2019, that's what's bad. Him then later saying, oh, no, I mean the next section. But the next section's not when Kash Patel says he was arrested in 2019. He's saying, I have a problem with Kash Patel bringing up, when asked, did Epstein do this shit with underagers, bringing up that he was arrested for it in 2019. Now, I don't know how much clearer I can make it. And what that person was doing is like, I just don't like Kash Patel. I know he's a liar. I know there's evidence. I just know it. There's 3 million files. And I was like, can you see it? Well, I don't have it, but I assume it's in the redacted portion. Okay. That could have taken 30 seconds. But instead it's, well, when someone asks you a specific... His problem is Kash not trying to incriminate himself. I don't think that is trying to avoid incriminating at all. At all. I don't think that's like a mealy-mouthed answer. I don't think it's legal speak at all. Did Jeffrey Epstein ever do this stuff with kids or with underagers? Yes, he was arrested for it in 2019. I don't understand it at all. And what I'm saying is, if that's the barrier you have, if you're like, aha, then how would any of us have a reasonable conversation about what the rest of Kash Patel says if we're like, okay, is this legalese? Is this just being mealy-mouthed? If that's already, then what? What are you talking about? So then we can't, then everyone who ever says anything in front of Congress is a duplicitous liar because it's always twisted because it's public. What are you talking about? It's just frustrating. Again, here I'm doing exactly what I said. There's no talking sense into people like that. Yeah, I also don't know what we're yelling about. So, but I just wanted to point that out. You're not aligned with the caller. It's the editor's fault. Why would you yell at me? Why did you blame Black Elk? My goodness. Anyways. Frustrating. I think that so. I suffer from voice modulation. There's a Will Ferrell skit in SNL. Now, on Epstein, did you see now that the news broke that the one guard was doing searches of Epstein before, right, like the night he died, and then deposited a bunch of money? Did you see any of that? Now, unlike that caller and other people, I'll say this. My thinking on this has always been, I'm not saying the FBI, whether it be Kash Patel's FBI or Chris Wray's FBI or James Comey's FBI or shit, you go back further, Bill Barr's FBI. Far be it for me to say they're beyond the most heinous types of corruption. In fact, I would like to see them disbanded immediately, is what I would like to see, because I think they're so corrupt. But one of the things I said is, I don't think like they're reckless because there's never any accountability, but I don't think they would be in the business of just keeping incriminating evidence against themselves for like 20 years readily available. Now, you might turn it up somewhere in a burn bag or something like that. John Solomon's now reporting that there's all of these files they're now finding, that there was a special like prohibited access where there's a bunch of stuff. So maybe you would find some stuff there. But what I find interesting is like this assumption that like Trump's going to come into office and the FBI is just like I never understood it. It's even like with the JFK files. Like, assume for a second that someone in the FBI or the CIA had JFK killed. I mean, you think they just kept the files? It's like in a file folder somewhere? I think I would have deleted all communication of that, right? Well, I would think it would be the same about like the Epstein stuff. If the FBI was involved or if they're protecting powerful people, wouldn't they just sort of get rid of it? And it's so funny because it's this fundamental mistake we make where we sort of assume if there's files that aren't made available, and then we push to get them made available, we're like, there they are. There's the files. But I would think that it's probably likely that a lot of communications, etc., are being done on devices that aren't being collected in FBI files. Let me give you an example. You remember how bad the Peter Strzok, Lisa Page text messages and emails were? They want an insurance policy to stop Trump. They can smell Trump supporters. We're going to stop them, etc., etc. That was all done on their FBI devices. We never got access to their personal devices. So it's if they couldn't have just gone home and grabbed their own phones and just said shit. Or they didn't just say it over a phone call as opposed to typing it down in a text message or an email. We're not going to get any of that. And so for me, it was always like, holy shit, if this is what they're putting in writing, imagine what they're talking about. Imagine what they're saying. And so for me, it's like, with the Epstein files, it's like if there was like really bad incriminating shit about Mossad or about the FBI being involved or specific higher ups, connected politically, my guess is they would have just scrapped it. Now, I know they say everything's recoverable. I'm not so sure, but sure, whatever. But it is an entirely plausible explanation that Kash Patel gets in there and he's like, all right, let's see everything. And there's nothing there. Now, I understand people are like, but why did he redact certain stuff? I think there's so much to do about nothing. The Thomas Massie piece of that. They redacted one dude's name who was in the file 17 times. Within 24 hours of Massie raising a stink about it, they unredacted it. On that very same page was a bunch of other names that shouldn't have been unredacted that ended up getting unredacted. I mean, I don't know. Now, I'm not putting it past Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, etc., to intentionally cover up it. Maybe they're doing so. I'm not asking anyone to take it on an article of faith that they're not. And I don't like them. If it was up to me, Bondi and Patel be gone. But like that caller's entire comment and like what you'll get is like, well, I don't like Bondi, or I can't trust Bondi and Patel on this, and so I'm not going to believe anything about Iran. Well, it's like, I don't believe anything about Iran, but it has nothing to do with the fucking Epstein stuff. So, I don't know. But I would still put dollars to donuts that Epstein's death isn't what we're being told. I don't have proof, and I doubt we'll ever get proof. But 2 cameras malfunctioning while 2 guards fell asleep while one of those guards was getting a bunch of money from parts unknown while researching about Epstein. hours before he died. And then Epstein managed to hang himself in a way that's almost physically impossible. Sounds ludicrous. And if I'm just going off I'm not ready to prosecute people. I'm not saying that. But if I'm going off my common sense, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. And it's shitty because we live in this society where you can suspect something, but unless you see like pretty hard proof, you sort of operate as if that's not the case. Let me give you another one. The 2020 election. How many people suspect that cheating swung the 2020 election? I put it close to 50-50. I don't know. But the problem is, as of right now, we can't prove it. Which is, of course, the intent. They intentionally make the elections as hard to audit as possible. Then they can say, well, you can suspect all you want, but you can't prove it. And then what are we supposed to do? Like, what do you do about that? Do you just like, no, I refuse to accept it, and Biden's not really my president? Okay, big dog. Now what? Well, if I'm ever having dinner with Joe Biden, I'm not calling him Mr. President. So I don't really give a shit. This is a roundabout way of saying it. Like, with everything that's happened here in the last, I know everyone thinks I'm on the fucking payroll. First off, my buddy Zach Gilpy, Jewish, he hasn't sent a donation for a while. So to hell with the Jews. We're blaming Israel. It's all Israel's fault. They run everything until Zach sends me another donation. No, I mean, I think Israel does have too much influence. So does a bunch of other countries. I said in the last episode, I don't think it's as clear cut as Israel runs everything. I think there's another faction that's involved that's like pro-Islam, that's involved in academia, that's involved in like Democratic politicians, etc. Yeah, we don't even like Maine anymore. But I'm not trying to shit on, like, I think that sometimes it gets annoying with the Israel thing. And I don't like the black pill thing, but I get it. Like, listen, I talked to someone earlier today. I'll tell you, there's not a lot of people watching right now, so I'll tell you all the truth. All right, you ready? Now, don't tell the rest of the audience this. But you want to know the truth about the black pill people? They're probably right. They probably are. We're probably fucked. No matter what. That's the truth. But here's what I do know. We're definitely fucked if we all just accept that. And we're like, well. Then it's 100%. Maybe we're 80% likely to be screwed no matter what. But there's hope. There's 20% chance. Sort of like the old philosophical conundrum of the question of free will. Assume you're not religious for a moment, right? I remember thinking about this as a young man. How do we know that free will exists? I'm going to choose to take a drink right now. But did I choose that? Or am I just like a function? I'm built a certain way, my genetic material plus my life experiences, and then you put a situation into that as input, and the result will be predetermined. It looks like I made a conscious choice, but maybe not. Maybe someone donated money to have me take that drink. No. But I know this. You can't live your life acting as if free will doesn't exist. It'd be impossible. You'd just be like, okay, I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to keep walking off the building. So, Even if you have questions, you still proceed. And that's how I feel. But I understand, like, people that get depressed. And it's funny because there are people that don't get it, right? They're like, there are Trump supporters, like the more like neocon Trump supporters, and they have no clue how it feels. They have no clue to be like, look, man, like, I hated all these politicians. They were all foreign policy hawks, and they gave a shit about everyone except us back home. And then Trump came, and we invest all this time into supporting Trump, and now it seems like he don't give a shit about us back home. It's back to foreign policy. We spent 10 years to get right back to George W. Bush. And I don't think the people that are like, well, I like Bush. I like the Bush doctrine. I like attacking Iran. I like going into Venezuela. I don't think they get it. They're like, what's not to like? And the problem is, it just feels like a 100% betrayal. It's like, if Biden wins, you're like, of course, that's what we expect. If Jeb Bush would have won, it's like, of course, that's what we expect. But to get your hopes up and then be like, oh, same bullshit. Now, is it the same bullshit? I don't know. Probably. I don't think that my position on this has changed that much, to be honest. It has, but it hasn't. If you took 2 years ago, this exact date, let's even zoom it up, a year and a half ago, before the election. So if you looked at me last, September, a year and a half ago in September, what was I saying about Trump? I was like, look, 5% chance he wins. Okay, that's wrong. But if he gets elected, it's even less of a chance that he does anything meaningful to drain the swamp. It's just not going to happen. And that's where I'm at. The best we can hope for Trump is, on some things, having a stalemate until hopefully we could get someone better. At this point, a lot of that's Trump's fault. A lot of it's not. A lot of it's he's being sabotaged within his own party. But there's been ups and downs. With the first month or two after Trump got elected, with Doge, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, it's like, yeah, it's going to be different. But, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I was like, the problem with Trump was the downside to Trump was the same as the upside, which was he had a first term. Did he drain the swamp? No. Well, but now he knows better because they've tried to throw him in prison. We'll see. Let's read super chats. Let's do it. Now we have to get to our goal of 357 tonight. I think we could do better than that, but wickeder than now. Thank you so much as always. Really appreciate it. Lavin, $5 says that's 1/3 of the audience is dumb. The Jew-hating right-wingers are worse than the Jew-hating lefties. I don't know. I sympathize with some of it. I do. But I just think that it goes overboard. Like, comments the last time I was on, it was like, oh man, the problems with getting the SAVE Act passed. And someone's just like, what's it matter? We have President Netanyahu. Who cares if the SAVE Act gets passed? It's like, I used to tell these, in retrospect, I would have kept my mouth shut. But back when I was in college and I was like straight up libertarian, or, well, I don't know, libertarian-esque, I was voting third party and all that good shit. I had all these lefty friends, and I was against the Iraq War, and they were against the Iraq War. And I remember my roommate had to give this presentation. He wrote this paper. It was laughable, the whole thing. My roommate was going to kill me because I was fighting with like people, arguing with them because that's what I do. And anyways, one of the other papers was about sort of disenfranchisement of the left, hilariously. And like, I'll never forget, there's all these like, a couple professors are speaking up and a couple like, I mean, this is 2007, 2008, maybe a little after that. And you already saw like the nose ring, blue hair chick. And this is in a nutshell what they're talking about. Here's what we need to do, man. Let's just get everyone together in like a drum circle. And like, we just need to swear off politics. Swear it off, man. Nothing will ever get done in the system. And if enough of us come together with peace and love and like through culture and music. And I was like, yeah, it's the dumbest shit I ever heard. And like, they're so mad at me. I'm like, why would you willfully take yourself out of the political game? You can do all that other shit. And I'm not saying culture doesn't have it. Maybe you're right that culture has more of an influence. But why would you, like, I was like, you know, it's almost like one of you's like George Bush in a Scooby-Doo mask. Like, wait a minute, that ain't no hippie. That's Dick Cheney with the blue-haired nose ring chick's mask on. I would have got away with it too. You know, it's like, yeah, man. What are you talking about? That's exactly what Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney would want. Like everyone to just, anyone who's anti-war to be like, well, screw it, we're not voting. And now I see it from the right. Well, we're doomer pilled now. Whatever, just vote Democrat, don't vote. Who gives a shit? And it's like, well, no. You're right, maybe it's too late. It may be, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to keep fighting. If you're Christian, you know the ending. If you're not, the Christians are right. But that's okay. Let's assume for a second the Christians aren't right. Even if you're atheist, whatever religion you are, it doesn't matter. 100 years after you die, no one's going to fucking remember you. Quick, what's your great-great-grandfather's name? I don't know mine. No one's going to remember you. Maybe you'll have a viral video on YouTube. My stretching the limits Rob Shapiro video will still live on. But that's it. So what'd you do with your life? Did you sit around pessimistic and say, well, I couldn't try to make positive change because the system was too big? Who cares? If you lose, you lose. But you try. You try to do the right thing politically. And for me, it's easy to say. I have a lot of stuff going on in my life that's not political. I have a great family, a great neighborhood, you know. So I don't get I'll never be the black pill type guy. And it gets like, I guess I get too shitty when I see people like that in the audience. And I shouldn't. I understand it. I actually get it. And I want to be like that too. I'll tell you right now, it's no fucking fun. There are times when it's not fun to stream. When Charlie Kirk got assassinated, it wasn't fucking fun to stream. Still not. Some of it got taken away with that. When there were 2 assassination attempts, it wasn't fun to stream. And it's not really fun to stream where it's like, I'm getting kind of what I expected with Trump. So I've done my best to look at it from different angles and like tell you my honest feelings on it. And again, so much of it is I don't know. If you go back to this, if I could tell you, I said this to someone today, what if I could tell you like, hey, I'm from the future, and I'm not going to tell you when. It could be today or it could be 50 years from now. But between now and 50 years from now, there will be a foreign power that detonates a WMD on U.S. soil. Would you believe it if Trump then came out and was like, well, we had to attack Iran because they were making nuclear weapons? I mean, the problem is, I just don't believe any of them. It's not that I don't believe they didn't have some sort of program. I don't, it's oversimplistic and I get it. And that's the weakness in this argument, which is just like, I don't give a fuck. You've lied so many times. Our foreign policy experts, so many times. Since the fucking beginning of the Cold War. And in fact, even worse than that, since the end of the Cold War, since the 90s. The working class in this country have been sold out by the intelligentsia. And so when they keep saying, hey, you got to trust me this time, you got to trust me. Yeah, I guess when the boy cries wolf, eventually the wolf might be there. But can you blame us for not believing it? I just don't know. So I'm not trying to shit on people. And, I'm just trying to be like, diligently as I can, explain exactly what I think about the situation. But I don't think it's worth getting blackpilled. There's still incremental things that we could get. Look, this conflict may not be as bad as ones in the past. You see Imaginarian there says, Trump's not a neocon and won't get us involved in a forever war. So, I don't know. All right, more super chats. Psycher Carrot, $5 says, I think Trump and the team expected more actionable evidence in the files. When it wasn't there, they didn't know how to handle it. That's my gut feeling. I don't know that Kash Patel, who was himself targeted by the prior administration, I sort of believe him when he seemed like, yeah, fuck the establishment. And I think probably the same with Bongino. They get in there and it's like, there's not much here. Or it's compartmentalized in a way where they're not getting access to it. I don't know. Adamant, $5 says, I don't know what we're yelling about. I'm always yelling. That's my favorite comments that I get. It's like, why is this guy yelling all the time? It's like, I don't know, dude. Why do I have a whiny, high-pitched voice, too? I don't know. Why do I have half a thumb? It's just, I don't know. Naughty Germ, thank you so much. As always, $5. Really appreciate it. And then Psycho Carrick, $2 says, it doesn't have to be a whole organization, just the right guy. Yeah, being corrupt. Yep. Vita, $2. One of my favorite quotes. Pessimistic mind, optimistic feet. Yeah. It's all right to be like, fuck, we're screwed. But then you keep working towards positive results. Speaking of negative, by the way, I heard this today. You ready for this? My church is no longer going to offer Sunday service. I was shocked. There's only 2 priests for like 8 Catholic churches around here. So they're going to do Saturday Mass. Saturdays are tough for me. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm a little bummed out by the whole thing, if I'm honest. I don't know why I got on that. I just thought of that with the optimistic. Crash Test Dummy, $10 says, Trump dropped the mother of all bombs on ISIS and authorized direct military action against Russian troops disguised as mercenaries in Syria. He's not an isolationist. Never has been. Yes and no. You're absolutely right. Trump's not an isolationist, but Trump was someone, and his administration cultivated this, and certainly the people speaking on his behalf cultivated him as he himself bragged about this. First president and since whoever to not have any declared foreign wars, interventions. It was just a random bombing here. They took out Soleimani. I didn't like those strikes in Syria that he had, if I'm honest. So I understand there are people like, oh, well, yeah, it's not that simple. And there's an awful lot of people that hung their hat on like, look, Trump's not this big foreign war guy. He's someone who's unpredictable, who that unpredictability allows peace through strength because people are afraid to cross the line. So, but you're right. He's never been a pacifist or anything of that nature. Brian B, $10 says, I'm disappointed in Trump for not getting anything out of the neocons for giving them the regime change war they always wanted. least get the Save Act passed, but we got nothing. Excellent point. That was the point I made the other day. If you look, it's shitty that everything's transactional. And that's what we're going to talk about here coming up, the Republican Party and how terrible they are. But if they're going to be transactional and horrible, fucking disgusting people, then you got to play that game. Wade Boggs, unbelievable generosity, $100 says whip songs. As heard on the Rob Noerr Show. Thank you so much. We will get to some whipping later tonight. Thank you, Wade. One other thing I want to check. Thank you, everyone watching over on Rumble. Appreciated it. Oh, last thing on the Iran attack. And then we'll move on. Now they're saying, like the New York Times and a bunch of other places are reporting, still not 100% certain of this. Did anybody see this? That they're saying that it actually was the U.S. that bombed that school with those for girls. Now, doesn't mean that these reports are accurate, but as I said the other day, my gut feeling is that it was the U.S. because I feel if there was more question about it, they would have been more forceful in their denials. It's fucking horrible, is what it is. You know, we live in this society where it's like you could... It's so hard. It's so hard to... say this because I could actually push back on the opposite end as well. So let me try to think how I want to say this. Has anybody ever heard my apology? So inevitably when I get canceled for something, my apology is going to be like, I'm sorry, I'm being canceled for, and then insert making a racist joke, making a homophobic joke, blah, blah, blah. And I just want to apologize to everyone preemptively. I apologize that I didn't double down and make 10 times more of those jokes. So here's a list of slurs that I'll throw out, Fuck that. You don't apologize, right? But this is different. I'm not saying apology. But it would be nice to be able to come out and just be like, this fucking sucks. Here's our explanation. It was a mistake. The intel was bad. The missile dropped in a way that, it malfunctioned, whatever. And we feel horrible about this. And these things happen in war. And it's disgusting and it's terrible. But we live in a society where you can't say that. And then people predictably, correctly call you out and like, oh, you're misleading, you're being an asshole. It's like, it's weird the lessons I learn in life from politics. Like the Brett Kavanaugh thing. Does anybody think that Brett Kavanaugh lied during his hearing? I do. I think Kavanaugh lied. Right? Let me ask you guys a question. Anybody here consider yourself a drinker? I'm going to have a drink. Why not? I used to be a big drinker. And now I'm a little drinker. Right? I don't drink very often. I'll have just a little taste here tonight. There you go. Rocket's Red Clear. Never had a drink in his life. Good for you, man. Well, if you do drink. Oh, look at that chub. Unreal. Let me ask you a question. To those who have drank, have you ever blacked out? Not even really I've blacked out, but have you ever not remembered a portion of the night while you were drinking? I have. Now I'm on record. I used to get fucking hammered. I'd wake up and be like, how the fuck did I get home? Now I was good. I had good habits, believe it or not. So like we would walk to the bar or we would always have a DD. I'm not going to say it was never that someone had a little one or too many but we were pretty fucking good. We were pretty serious about that. And it's just who I was. I was an alcoholic. I fucking drank until, I didn't remember. One time I got jumped at this frat and I fucking had a concussion. Bad. And I didn't remember shit. I didn't even remember going to the party. That's a little different because I had a concussion, but I've certainly drank to black out. Now, imagine this. Imagine that someone says, Rob assaulted me. He assaulted me when he was in college. I'm like, that's not true. Uh-huh. Have you ever blacked out? Yeah. Okay, that's when it was. Prove it wasn't. You just admitted there are times in your life where you don't remember what happened. That's when it occurred. That's the position Kavanaugh was in. Now, is it possible that Kavanaugh never blacked out? Possibly. But my money's on... yes. My money's on... he knew he couldn't admit the truth. Yeah, not in today's society. Maybe in a court of law, not when it came to stopping him from being confirmed. So in the court of public opinion, if he says, yeah, okay, I guess there was a time or two when I blacked out drunk. There you go. That's when he assaulted Christine Blasey Ford. And so we live in this society where it's like you have to, and it's so stupid. Like, can you imagine like some young guy applying for a job now? Have you ever used a racial slur? No. Oh, go fuck yourself. Yes, of course. Of course I have. But you can't say it. So we all have to lie. Our whole society's based on these fucking bullshit lies that we have to tell. Oh, women are just as good as men in certain things. Oh, fuck you. You're wrong. Oh, it's such a disadvantage to be a minority. Oh, fuck you. You're wrong. Oh, actually, immigrants, diversity is our strength. Oh, fuck you. You're wrong. All these lies. Just bullshit. We have to pretend. There's not a lot of fraud in our government. Oh, fuck you. It's like the last time I was talking with Pisco, right? Pisco's version of events is none of the prosecutors that went after Trump, none of them. Not Alvin Bragg, not Letitia James, not Fannie Willis. Who was it? It was Fannie that actually ran on the promise of locking up Trump. None of it was political. None of it had to do with the fact that it was Donald Trump. These were all crimes they would have prosecuted anyways. That's his story. He's sticking to it. Okay. So then he's like, well, Trump's team, they're looking into Democrats. Do you think that's political? Nope. Politics never even came into consideration. You have to lie because they lie. It's so tiresome. A couple more super chats. Chop $100, you absolute Chad. Says, can't let Wade stand alone. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Thank you so much. Crash Test Dummy, $5 says, it was a bad strike in that school by the U.S. However, any discussion of civilian casualties needs to also involve Iranian missile strikes. Of course. I mean, look. blast away at fucking criticizing the United States for that. Life's difficult. It's hard. Like, I get it. There's no easy answer. I was talking to a guy today. Can you blame Iran for wanting to get the bomb? Let me ask you this. Do you think if Iran had a nuclear bomb, like literally had it ready to go, to the point where they had it set up, if they're attacked, it automatically launches, do you think that would benefit them politically, even if they never used it? Of course it would. So do you blame them for trying to get it? I didn't miss your super chat. Wait, $100. This whip song is heard in the robnoerr show. Thank you. It's just not. I don't give a shit. I just. Fuck Israel. Fuck Palestine. Fuck Iran. They're all shit. They all fucking suck. I don't want mass amounts of fucking Muslims imported to this country whose values don't align with ours. I don't want fucking Israel throwing huge amounts of money that are determining our political situation. Fuck them all. Do I think that all the problems in the country are because of importation, because of Muslims? No. Do I think all the problems in our country is because Israel spends money lobbying? No. But I'm allowed to say fuck them both. I understand this. I am tribal. I'm cheering for the United States. I'm cheering for my family. I'm cheering for my country. I'm cheering for our soldiers. Right? That's what I'm doing. If it's a matter of, well, what's objectively just, or objectively, are you okay? Yeah, but I'm not objective. I'm subjective. This happens in life. Shit happens where you're like, objectively, if I'm trying to take myself out of the situation, I totally understand that. I've been at the bar where my friend's being the asshole. And if I didn't know him, I'd say, that guy's an asshole. And then someone slugs him in the face. It doesn't matter. It's my friend. Fuck you. It's on. I got jumped at that frat. I told you, this is a true story. I got jumped at a frat. They beat me for about 20 minutes while I was basically unconscious. And it was a big thing. Anyways, 2 years later, I'm at my apartment, and my roommate brings this dude back. And we're bullshitting. He seems like a nice dude. Bullshitting, having a couple drinks. And he's like, man, I gotta tell you something. And I'm like, oh, what's up? And he's like, I didn't hit you while you were down or anything, but when you got knocked out and a bunch of people started scuffling, like, I was in that frat. And he's like, I threw a couple punches at some of the dudes that were trying to get you out of there. I was like, oh. I don't really give a shit at that point. Now, the motherfucker that knocked me out, I still hold a grudge. That asshole. But it's your boys. You're going to have their back. To an extent, right? You're not fucking murdering someone, but that's the way it is. That's life. Cheers. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I got straight fucked up, man. Almost lost an eye. I didn't even remember why it happened, like I said, because I had a concussion. Apparently what happened was, I was at the party. I didn't know people really there. We went to leave, and this dude, he was a Marine that I had class with. We went to leave. My buddy was sober. He was driving home, but it was my car. So we went out. He was like, where's your keys? I thought they were in the car. Here, I left them in the frat. So the party's like winding down. So I go back in to get my keys. And this dude I had this class with was like, I can't use the word because we're on YouTube, but it is a good word. He said, homosexual slurs like this guy is why we can't get women here. And I was like, what the fuck did you say? And he's like, you heard me. And I heard all this third hand. So then I started walking towards the guy. And then about 5 of them surrounded me. And it didn't last long from what I understand. I put my dukes up, but I got hit from the side. And so then they hit me 2 or 3 times and started walking away. And I told them apparently that they hit like a bunch of fucking pussies. And so then they decided to not hit like pussies. But apparently they were I was unconscious and they picked me up. I used to have hair. They picked me up by the hair and the dude kicked me in the fucking eye. So I wake up the next morning. I'm at my friend's house. I go to take a piss. I'm like hungover. I take a piss. I'm like, fucking sore all over. I'm like, what the fuck happened last night? And I look in the mirror and I'm covered in fucking blood. And my eyes, like, the top part of my eyes swollen down over the fucking, like this. It was my debate partner. He's like this Buddhist hippie. I was at his house. And by the time I get out, I'm like taking the fucking water in the sink. And I'm like, I got this shirt on. I can tell it's not my shirt. It's too tight. It's white. It's blood all over it because I figured they got me out of the clothes I had. I come out and my debate partner, like I said, he's like this real skinny Buddhist hippie. He's like this. Looking at me, I was like, well, did I deserve it? He's like, I don't think so. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was a big thing. And then, that. So then what happened? I might as well tell the whole story. I rolled up to debate. I debate practice, man. I had to practice debate. So I roll up, and my coach is like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, guess I got jumped last night. Whatever. Life goes on. He's like, yeah, man, you have to go to the hospital. Like, now. I was like, all right. So he filed a complaint with the school, unbeknownst to me. So I get the university, like, calls me, and they're like, you have to come in and, like, give a statement. And, of course, my statement was, they were like, I was only 18, or I think I was 19. I wasn't 21 yet. And so my statement, they were like, did they give you booze? Which they did, but I lied. Because I was like, no, I ain't fucking narking. And they're like, what happened? And I basically just told the story that I told you. And the dude's like, well, do you want to file a complaint? I was like, nah, I don't care. And then he says, because if you file a complaint, we'll have to send it to the parties involved, and it'll have your home address. I was like, what's that supposed to mean? And he's like, well, they'll just know where you live. And I was like, yeah, okay, then file the motherfucker. If they show up to my house, that'll be a huge fucking mistake, because I'm a pussy. My family are some fucking straight up redneck fucking lunatics. Like, they're insane. Like, my dad and, like, all of my cousins and shit are fucking nuts. I'm like the nerd of that crew. So I went home to my parents' place. I had an apartment, but I went home to my parents' place. That's like 20 minutes away. My dad flips out on me because he's a good dad. That's what you get for fucking drinking underage. I told you, nothing comes from fucking drinking. Blah, 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 blah. Give me the business. I'm like, eh. So I went upstairs and went to bed. And I was probably sleeping for like 3 hours. And my cousin wakes me up. He's like, hey, man, what's up? And I was like, oh, not much. He's like, where did this happen at? And I was like, is it this? I gave him the name of the frat. He's like, is that the one behind Comet in Clarion? I was like, yeah. Okay. Leaves. Goes downstairs. I look out my window. There's like 5 of my cousins in a pickup, completely armed to the teeth. Fucking guns. They're going there to take care of business. So I ran downstairs. I was like, no. They're like, nah, fuck all that. Ain't gonna happen again. We'll make sure of it. They're on their way. I was like, no. Just let me handle it. That's it, man. That's what it, like my family, my cousins are fucking, in the best way possible, redneck psychopaths. Like, they'll kill you. That's who they are. It's straight up fucking like, you don't fuck with family. That's that. Period. End of story. So nothing came of it. And then, such a long story. So there was this dude in the debate team. He was supposed to be this fucking big shot debater. And he failed out of a couple schools, so he came into our school. And he's a terrible dude. He's a fucking drug dealer and huge dude. He's like 450 pounds. Not a very likable guy. So that guy exists, right? I'm sitting in the debate office doing work like a week and a half later. Knock at the door. It's the president of that fraternity. Can I talk to you for a minute? Sure. Comes out, he's like, so did you file a complaint? I was like, I didn't. The debate coach did, I did, but whatever. He says, what if I told you we have a girl willing to testify that the reason they jumped you was because you were harassing her? I said, okay, well, you guys say what you got to say. And he's like, what would we need to do to make this right? I said, so-and-so, the guy that started it, yeah. I said, he comes with me and my cousins, and we beat the fuck out of him for 20 minutes. Then we'll call it even Stevens. And he's like, well, that's not going to happen. I was like, all right, then go fuck yourself. And they showed up at my apartment then. And I was like, that's weird because my address was on the thing, but not my apartment. They didn't threaten me or anything. They were just like, can you please drop the case? By the way, I ended up dropping it. But I found out the way they found my apartment was this fat guy in the debate team. They promised they'd leave him pledge because he pledged for them and they said no. And then they're like, we'll leave you pledge if you give us details on this guy. And so I found that out. And it's one thing to get your ass kicked by a bunch of strangers and some one dude, fuck those people. But then this dude that was supposed to be my teammate and my friend, he's fucking collaborating with these motherfuckers. So he stopped showing up. He was failing out and he stopped showing up. So I sent an email, and this was my mistake. I sent it to the entire debate team. And I was like, here's what happened. And then this motherfucking dude told them where I lived. So now they're showing up to my house. So I just want everyone here to be my witness. And he was attached to the email as well. I was like, I'm going to beat your ass when you show up. As soon as you walk in the door of the debate office, I'm going to fuck you up. Just saying. Well, this dude who was like 22, had failed out of, I think, Harvard and then Catholic. His mom contacts the school with this email and it's like, this is why my son's not been going to class because he's being bullied. He wants a refund of tuition, which they fucking gave him. And then I had to get suspended from the debate team because I was issuing threats. And then the end of the story is this. My debate coach to this day, he doesn't know it. Someday I'll tell him this. My debate coach, he's a Democrat, like a centrist Democrat. One of the biggest influences on my life. He's an incredible man. Helped me not just with debate, but growing up, being an adult. He's a great man, an obsessive fucking psychopath, hardest working motherfucker I've ever seen. That guy'd stay up. If I had a debate and I needed a piece of evidence on something, that motherfucker would get me 200 pieces of evidence that said that in 20 hours, like working nonstop 20 hours. Just an absolute incredible, talented debater, coach, He really just an amazing guy. He really is. I don't have a bad word to say about him. The department chair was a guy really respected as well. Very fucking cool guy. Super smart, down to earth. He was a baseball coach in addition to being like the coordinator for the debate team. Just a fucking cool guy. These two guys bring me into and I know I'm going to get suspended. I know I fucked up. I should have, whatever. So, and we'll call my coach Carter, and we'll call the director Danny. That's not their names, but just Carter for coach, Danny for director. So they bring me in and they're like, what are you doing? Why would you do this? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I was pissed off. And Danny, he's like, kind of give me the business. All right, I get it. They got to do what they're going to do. And they're like, Danny's like, you're smarter than this, man. What are you doing? And I was like, look, here's what you have to understand. I was like, I respect you too. You know I respect you too. I was like, on one hand, you're telling me just let it go. And on the other hand, I have my dad telling me, like, you don't leave a fucking friend, someone's supposed to be on your team, someone's supposed to be your friend, stab you in the back. You fuck that motherfucker up. Don't be a bitch. That's what my dad's telling me. And the director guy, what I say his name was Danny, he's like, yes, but your dad doesn't have the benefit of a college education. He's not intellectual enough to know that's not how you handle things. And I just looked at, and again, I respected this guy. I looked at him, I was like, shut your fucking mouth. I was like, how dare you? Don't you ever fucking talk shit on my dad. I was like, who are you? Big fucking man, professor at Clarion University? Fuck you. And he lost it. He was like, motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. I was like, go fuck yourself. Talk shit in my family. Fuck off. Now, he's not wrong. It's like, but that's my dad. Fuck you. Fuck off. And I still to this day respect the shit out of that guy. But I ain't gonna let you talk shit, my dad. Fuck you. And by the way, my dad, well, Danny might have been right. So was my dad. There comes a time where you draw the line in the sand, and you're like, go fuck yourself. So what? If I go to jail, if I get kicked out of school, so what? I'll punch you in the fucking head. Nah, I never saw him again. Well, I did like 5 years later. And then it was weird because it was at a wedding. And he was like, I just want to say I'm sorry. It's like, dude, it's 5 years ago. I don't give a fuck at this point. But how did I get on this story? But yeah, I mean, I fucking love my dad. I love my mom. I love my rednecks. To me, they are all the fucking active. And again, I'm not talking shit as far as that director guy and my coach. They're amazing. They really gave me a different perspective. I think they helped me out a lot in life, both of them, particularly my coach. But from the bottom of my heart, I hope if you never believe anything I say, I hope it comes across as authentic. I fucking love the people I live around, these rednecks. My wife's family's the same fucking way. Same way. As soon as I met them, it's like, yep, same people. Same fucking people. I'd jump out of a fucking skyscraper for my father-in-law. Coolest fucking dude ever. Like, just absolute amazing, salt of the earth. Dudes that fucking bust their ass every fucking day. Fucking, my dad's had like fucking, I don't know how many back problems he's had. Fucking, my father-in-law, he fucking can't raise his fucking shoulder. He hurts so bad, he's trucking every day. Chopped his fucking finger off in a logging accident. He's like, fuck it, gotta get back to work. It's just, like that. Those are the people I look up. And I'm not that. I'm fucking shit. They think I'm a nerd, but I think that's funny. I don't mind it. But,
wait till they meet me then, Rob.
Yeah, they will really think.
Hi guys, I'm Avarice. Yeah. You want to talk about Gundams?
Those are the people that I look up to the most. So it's weird. It's two different worlds, you know. I understand as an adult, you're not supposed to be like, oh, I'm gonna whoop this guy's ass for this. But yeah, that's the way it is. And that, you know, that's how it is around here. You run your mouth at the bar, someone's gonna whoop your ass. And most of the time, it's not like some fucking huge thing. It happens. Sometimes it gets out of hand. One of my favorite stories, this is brief, I'll tell it real brief. There's this dude I liked, very cool guy. When I used to bartend in the town I grew up in, it's like 30 minutes away. I bartend there, and I wasn't there for this, but I heard this story through other people. He's drinking at the bar where I bartend, and he's supposed to be a fighter. He's like a tough dude. A younger dude down the road. It's like, so if you can picture this, like, let's see if I could do this. This probably ain't gonna help. Right? So picture that this is a road right here, right? And then this is a block. Here's the bar I worked at, and then there's a post office, and then there's a bar, and then there's a bar. Now, I worked at an Eagles club, but these were 2 bars. They weren't clubs. So that was it for the town. That was the fucking drunken section of town, right? And he's sitting at the Eagles club, and someone walks in. So-and-so, that younger dude down the road, he said you got a problem with him, fucking. Why don't you head on down? Everybody go to the parking lot and fist fight. That's what you do out behind the bar. So apparently this guy now leaves. Comes back 20 minutes later. Fucking mouth all bloody, nose bleeding, eyes swelled up a little. Everybody's like, what happened? He's like, I got my ass kicked. And they're like, why? He's like, or they're like, what happened? He's like, I guess he was more angry than me. Which is the best way I've ever heard that. But it was just like, you go fight, you buy each other a drink, that's that. You know? That's sort of the way it went. It's not so much anymore. Even in my town, the younger generation, it's like, But like, that's my dad. That's the world my dad grew up in. My dad grew up in this little area. They called it the Hollow. And it was like 3 families. Then they all, to this day, I call them my cousins. But they're not by blood. They all grew up. These fucking poor ass, brokest motherfuckers in town grew up down this holler. And they're fucking, shabby clothes and bad at school. People called it Hog Hollow. It was all the hog chicks that lived back there. And so, they learned to fight. All right, we'll fuck you up. And that was that. And you couldn't drive down the hollow. They knew, man. They'd sit there fucking on the porch with guns, like straight up redneck shit. They didn't have running water back there. They didn't give a fuck. They'll find you out back. That's how it was. And so it's weird growing up from that. It's different now. Shit ain't like that now. But that's how it went. And so I still, that's the people I look up to the most. So I have this, the academic part of me that's like, dude, you can't do that. You can't just you can't go threaten to fucking hit someone. And then, that's my family I came from. You don't leave someone talk shit in your family. Fuck that. You don't even talk shit in your friends. Fuck that. Ain't happening. I think a lot of people, there's a little squeal like a pig. I don't think there were many homosexuals back there, but they'd fuck you up. How did I get on this? What the fuck are we even talking about? 1 shot of whiskey in me and all of a sudden. Did we get all the super chats? Yes. That's all right. We'll get more. Story time with Rob. Save act. Well, now you saw, let's see. I'll get some of the clips. Murkowski. So you see John Thune. Let me just get you up to speed. I've said that. I was the first person I knew that said this. Not that it was some big fucking brain take. Right? But the reason that the Republicans don't want to do anything about the filibuster is because they don't want Trump's agenda getting passed. At least enough of them. And so the filibuster, let's break this down just in case you guys don't know. Right? Technically, to get things passed, you just need a simple majority. Most of the things that we're talking about. But the problem is the filibuster. Now, the filibuster, the original intent was that you stand up and you could talk and you could put endless debate and endless amendments, et cetera, et cetera. And the only way to end the filibuster was either you stop talking or 60 votes could override the filibuster. Now that was the idea. Before, I believe, 1917, the filibuster was a talking filibuster. There was no such thing as the non-talking filibuster. If you wanted to filibuster, it was Mr. Smith Goes to Washington style. You stood up there and you kept talking. And eventually, when you were done, someone else came up and talked, and when enough of you were done, that's it. Time for the vote. That's how it went. But there was eventually this gentleman's agreement. It's not a law. It's not a policy even. It's not written. It's just, well, if you were to do a talking filibuster, you theoretically could go for a long time and it would take 60 votes to override it. So If we think there will be a filibuster, then we'll just assume. That means, effectively, to get anything passed in the U.S. Senate, you need 60 votes. Now, we're at a place right now where you're hard-pressed that you'll find one side win 60 senators. That means, if the other side wanted to, they could literally filibuster everything. Just be like, nope, nothing. We'll pass nothing. Now, formally, literally, they wouldn't be able to do it because there's only so much time they could speak, and so eventually it would run out, and then you had to have the vote. But if you don't force them to speak, then it's never ending. Now, the problem from my perspective as a populist conservative, whatever, and from your alls as well, if you're that, is a lot of the Republicans, or at least enough of them in the Senate or the establishment Republicans, hate Trump. They don't like his fucking policies. They don't want them. Mitch McConnell hates Trump, doesn't want his policies. So, the filibuster is a useful tool to them because it would look real bad. Now, McConnell doesn't even know where he's at this point. He's worse than Joe Biden was, which is unbelievable, but it's true. And we've talked about that. What a travesty that is. But he might just be Weekend at Bernie's now at this point, McConnell. There's enough Republicans, they don't want Trump's agenda, but it would look real bad to their voters to have to go on record showing that. So what do? They say, shucks. We'd love to vote on that, but we need 60 votes, and we don't have it. So, and that's how I knew they could get rid of the filibuster. Now, Democrats will. Democrats will get rid of the filibuster. They won't give a fuck. Sure, we'll get rid of it. Fuck it. But the Republicans won't. And you're like, well, is it because the Republicans are more ethical? Or what? No, it's not that. The Democrats are by far more, because they have culture on their side. They have the media on their side, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. If you have a Republican-controlled Congress and a Republican president and the Democrats force a shutdown, it's Republicans' fault, says the media. If you have a Democrat Congress and a Democrat president and there's a shutdown, it's also Republicans' fault. It's always. So it doesn't matter. Right? So, this is why you see Tom Tillis, you bring up Snake Driver. Yeah, this is why you see John Boehner, Tom Tillis, Jeff Flake, Adam Kissinger, like all these Republicans, Liz Cheney. As soon as they realize the writing's on the wall and they're not going to be reelected, they show you who they really are. They fucking hate their base. They hate them. How is it? It's not just run-of-the-mill. Some of them are. But it's like these people in positions of leadership. Mitch McConnell, John Boehner, Michael Steele, who you see on CNN all the time, former head of the RNC. How do these people in prominent... Paul Ryan, former head of the Republican Party, who fucking helps run Fox News. They fucking hate Trump. Cornyn hates it. They hate their base. Soon as they're on their way out, they can't wait to tell you. Tom Tillis, he's got more anger over fucking Kristi Noem than he ever had for fucking Mayorkas, who left all these people in. Because that's his team. That's his agenda. The only thing that separates Tom Tillis from fucking Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer is his donors are slightly different. That's it. Many of them aren't. Many of them are the same. But he has a couple different donors. That's the only difference. They like the game. You have to understand this. When we say uniparty, like, it doesn't mean that everyone 100% believes on everything. It's just that on the core, what they believe in more than anything else is, it's our system. And fuck you all. We run this shit. We don't want no fucking outsider coming in telling us how it's done. Fuck you. Fuck you, Tulsi. Fuck you, Bernie. Fuck you, RFK. Fuck you, Trump. Fuck you, Ron Paul. That's how they feel. I've said this for years. 2016 election. You had populism on the left and populism on the right. Populism on the left was Bernie Sanders. Populism on the right was Donald Trump. They took care of Bernie Sanders in the primary. Made sure he didn't have a chance. Remember that? Coin flips and shit that was all coming up Hillary's way and the media and all that, right? Then they're like, fine, fuck it. Hillary versus Trump, great, grand. Hillary will win. Jeb Bush wanted Hillary to win. Jeff Flake wanted Hillary to win. John McCain wanted Hillary to win. Liz Cheney wanted Hillary to win. They're more than happy to be in the opposition party. Great. They're still running the opposition party. But the real problem would be if someone comes in and takes over the party and then all of a sudden you're not influential anymore. That's the problem. So the truth is, there's a group of Republicans, somewhere between 6 and probably 15, that do not want the SAVE Act. And they certainly don't want to end up, there's even more Republicans that don't want to end the filibuster. Because the filibuster is the best thing that ever happened. Imagine that you're a basketball player. Let's say you faked it, right? You put a bunch of AI, a highlight reel showing you fucking slamming the ball and shit. Now you play for a league, and once a month you go out to play your game, and there's a rule that if one person on either team says, we don't want to play today, the game's canceled. You'd love that rule. You'd be like, great. You'd keep pretending in perpetuity. I was ready to play. I was going to kick some ass. But rules are rules. You wouldn't want to get rid of that rule. Not at all. You'd say, great. I can keep telling my constituents, shucks. We're about to do shit that you wanted, but we can't because those dastardly Democrats. And when you're the Democrats, you'd be like, shucks. We're about to do shit, but we can't because those dastardly Republicans. Great. Congress does nothing. The executive branch does whatever the fuck they want. The judges let it slide overwhelmingly when it's the left wing in charge or the globalist. When it's the right, the judicial branch decides they're going to be activists. They also don't want to work. It's hard work to sit through a filibuster, to have to show up every day, to have to reject the amendments. Nah. I saw someone say it this way. The talking filibuster ended sort of in 1917, or at least that's when we started the non-talking filibuster. Which was also the same year that we stopped allowing delegates or the states to pick senators. And instead we allowed it to be voted upon. Now it's like senators aren't interested in like actual governance. They're interested in campaigning, raising money. So I've been saying this loud and proud for a long time. The reason they don't want to end the filibuster is because they love the filibuster. Because they don't want Trump's agenda. And if the filibuster ended, well, then everyone would know. Here's Lisa Murkowski, Republican senator from Alaska, when asked about the SAVE Act.
Where do you stand on the Save America Act? Do you, support getting this legislation passed to protect elections?
Not as it is drafted, no.
Why not?
The implementation in a rural state like Alaska is going to disenfranchise an extraordinary majority. And while I support...
Disenfranchise an extraordinary majority. What does that mean? More than 50% of people can't get an ID? Or does the descriptor word extraordinary suggest some... There you have it. So what's being rural have to do with it?
Citizenship voting and voting ID. I want to make sure that it's implementable.
Where do you stand on the Save America Act?
That's the truth. And thank goodness there was a journalist that actually asked. Now, here's the truth. John Thune sucks, right? But it is true that he's looking and he's like, we don't have the votes. If Democrats were like, you know what? Fine, fuck it. No filibuster. None. The SAVE Act still would not pass. That's the truth. In fact, Democrats, now here's the thing. Democrats are fine to keep the charade going as well. If it was really about just beating Republicans, if that was it and I was a Democrat strategist, I'd say don't filibuster it. It ain't gonna pass. Just publicly have Schumer call and say, okay, we're ready to vote. No filibuster. All you need is 51 votes. You ain't gonna get it. Then you could say, you see all that bluster from the Republicans, you see? They're willing to shut down the government over this. And their own they run the Senate and they can't even fucking come up with a plan. That's the truth. Of course, Democrats are happy as well. They want to keep that. They want people to say, yeah, we think the Republicans are trying to do the right thing. They enjoy the charade. Now, I've been telling people this for months. This is the truth. There you have it. How many more people like there are at Murkowski? 7, 8 Republicans would be my guess. Now, Murkowski was influential in Alaska for getting ranked choice voting, which is the only reason she's still senator. Also, remember, the RNC under McConnell spent about $50 million to keep Murkowski in that seat, who's voting against legislation that 90% of Republicans want, and probably over 50% would say it is the most important legislation. And that's where the RNC puts their money. Did you ever notice that as well? They're putting their money behind people like John Cornyn and Lisa Murkowski. Why? Why put them behind the worst fucking senators? Because that's the point. The point is the leadership of the Republican Party fucking hates Donald Trump. And it's not just Donald Trump. They hate their own fucking base. Because you want to know what's annoying about the base of the Republicans? They want a government that does shit for them. And the Republicans aren't interested in that. Not at the leadership level. The Republicans are interested in doing shit for their real base, which are their donors. Cage Street. That's what they're interested in. Filibuster's just a happy excuse. Ah, shit. We never have to go on record because the filibuster. So what's Thune going to do? He's like, well, we'll force the vote. Right? Everybody knows they ain't getting 60. But he'll say, we tried. Thune ought to be like, we're forcing a talking filibuster, and if the votes aren't there, then fuck it. Let the Republicans go on record, the ones that are going to vote against the SAVE Act. Now, Murkowski says, I'm for voter ID, and I'm for only citizens voting, but this isn't implementable. Why? She gives no details, but okay, then what's your counter proposal? How long have you been in office, Murkowski? What law did you create? Oh, that's right, you didn't. We're the only major country, like first world country in the world that doesn't have fucking voter ID. You have, like, I saw a tweet, you know that ACYN guy? I think it was him. Let me see. It doesn't matter. One of these left-wing pundits that you see on X was like, the Republicans are saying the quiet part out loud. Or it was the Democrats approving. And it was basically Schumer saying, like, millions of people won't be able to vote if we do this. if ICE is allowed at polling places. You mean illegals? Illegals will be taken off. Dead people will be taken off the voter rolls? I love how these establishment globalists, particularly the ones on the left, they'll make any fucking excuse to tell you why actual individuals can't have well, we can't take people off the voting rolls. We have to leave millions upon millions of people. How about in the UK? Well, we can't hold snap election. We can't have the elections. We got to put them off, Well, we get disinformation online. We got to censor, Amazing. Just trust us, plebes. We know what's up. Now, yes, a lot of it has to do because it's work to work through a filibuster, which Republicans aren't interested in that. But you don't think that a lot of these, how do these fucking shitheads keep winning? A lot of it's apathy. That's the majority of it. Then a lot of it's money that the donor class is putting into them. But you don't think they wouldn't mind a system where they could not verify the results, not have it be audited? Of course that benefits them. How the fuck can we have an issue in this day and age where almost everyone disagrees on even the simplest shit? 80% of this country, independent, left, and right leaning, want voter ID, and we can't even get it up for a vote. There's not even an argument. It's Jim Crow. Black people are stupid. Rural people are stupid. They don't know how to get IDs. It's like no one gives a shit. Then they voted on some housing bill, the Senate, 79 to 21 or something voted for it. Go fuck yourself. By the way, now we'll see. Trump was talking big game. I ain't going to sign shit until the SAVE Act's passed. By the way, this is good for Republicans in the Senate as well. Now they'll get to be oppositional to Trump. But Mr. Trump, these are things on your agenda. Housing, funding DHS. These are things. How dare you? Right? Obstruction is Trump. That's the way they'll spin it. This is the worst fucking Congress ever. They are not only not passing Trump's agenda, they are actively subverting it. John Thune's having pro forma sessions. What this means is that instead of going on recess, which Trump would be allowed to put his appointments as recess appointments, which Clinton did, which Obama did, etc., instead they're doing pro forma sessions, which are symbolic, and you just keep one or two Republicans there to gavel in so you can say, we're not in recess. The blue slips procedure, again, much like the non-talking filibuster, not a rule, not a law, just an unwritten agreement. If a senator in a particular state doesn't want an appointee, they're allowed to veto it unilaterally. Okay? So in any state that there's a Democrat, no appointment. But what if Trump appointed, let me stop you right there, the answer is no. Democrat says no. Doesn't matter who it is. Pro forma, blue slip, filibuster. Republicans are actively, the leadership of the Republican Party is actively anti-Trump. Now, the best part is, the left will make this argument, but they're Republicans. I can show you evidence after evidence of James Comey being corrupt against Trump, but he was Republican. Six-pack over in Rumble says, what are my thoughts on amending to disqualify any future Jewish or Muslim from holding public office? Rationale, they take the religious component of the GOP seriously. Why would we continue to act against that reality? No hat, no shade. I've asked this up bestie, and he can't answer. I don't think you could do it. I think that would be too difficult to ban people for religious reasons. Even if you wanted that, there would be 90% opposition to it. So it's not You might as well say, why don't we just only have white people vote? Right. It's not going to happen. Right. I also don't want a religious test for voting or holding office. I think that we should kick people out that are of certain political feelings when it comes to religion, like violent Islam, etc. The problem is, right, none of this was like through the force of law. Most of this shit was supposed to be allowed, right? Because the argument was, well, people will realize the blatant fucking Muslim that sympathizes with terrorists like Mamdani wasn't supposed to be able to win elections because there were all these checks and balances. The media will report on it. People won't want to actively self-sabotage it, but they do. The media doesn't report on it. So we end up in these fucked up situations. And it may be too late. I sympathize with what you're saying. I do. There's all sorts of practical problems that would be wrong. You know, people would just say, oh, okay, I'm not Muslim anymore. So I'm atheist. Now what? Sure, I'm Christian. Whatever. Demographics are destiny, and it's quickly going to reach the tipping point. Andrew's probably still debating that Circa guy, right? Remember when we were talking? Separation of church and state? Like this? Now, this guy's wife tweeted out, reposted tweets or X-posts, whatever the hell you call them, sympathizing with the October 7th attacks on Israel. Okay, fine. Remember when Alito's wife supposedly flew a flag upside down and it was the biggest story in the world? But the mayor of New York's wife sympathizing with terrorists. The checks and balances on our system no longer work. The legislative branch is non-existent, so it doesn't operate as a check. Judicial branch is out of fucking control. They're just activists. They get overturned. We keep hearing about like how unprecedented. How many times has a lower court judge been overridden by upper courts in the most absurd ways with Trump? Yet I don't hear any of the lefty attorneys that I talk to. I don't hear any of them going, this is outrageous. They keep getting overruled. All I hear is, they ruled against Trump again. He has to stop now. They got overruled. They ruled against him again. The presidents do next to nothing. Hell, Joe Biden was a human vegetable. It's all individual unelected officials in the executive branch that do all this shit. Our media are just propaganda mouthpieces for the establishment at this point. Academics actively subvert our fucking country. The entertainment industry and culture actively subverts the people that were citizens of this country. What do we have? Where's our checks? Where is it? Ain't Congress, ain't the judicial branch, ain't fucking our academics. It's not our media. Look how fast it happens, too. Look at the UK. So just this week, they're taking Winston Churchill, whatever you think of him, clearly an influential British figure, taking him off their currency and putting wildlife on because, in part, one of the guys leading the team is some dude from fucking Jamaica. While simultaneously, they're ending jury trials. While simultaneously, they're locking up something like 10 times the amount of people a year for speech than the Soviet Union did. We have reports of cops being involved in the grooming gang shit. Nothing matters. No comment. It's just in your face. It's in your fucking face. And it's coming. We're 5 years, maybe 10 years behind in the United States. It's coming. Show me the proof. Show me. I want to see the actual individual proof. I want to see the actual individual. Show me a DEI policy. I don't believe they exist. Fuck you. It was the same with critical race theory. Over and over and over, you could show examples. I know normally, like, at some point, you just have to be like, go fuck yourself. I don't care. And I know it's not good argumentation. I know it's not. To just be like, nah, fuck you. You're wrong. You know how many people I know that are left-wingers that are like, look, in my line of work, I can't get a promotion because I'm white. You don't say. Now we have, what's his name? Howard Schultz, CEO of Starbucks, super progressive. Now he's leaving Seattle, heading for greener pastures of Florida because he doesn't like their tax rate. Fuck you. Gotta make that motherfucker live there the rest of his life. You fucking leeches. You sacks of shit. You virtue signaling assholes. It's all so tiresome. How'd the media get every story wrong? How did the same story get wrong over and over about this bombing? CNN, Abby Phillips yesterday said they, with attacking Mamdani's house, almost every major newspaper basically implied, as I showed here the other day, implied that it was white supremacists that threw this bomb. How did they do that? Why is the mistakes always in that direction? Why is it? My problem with the media was never that it's too critical of Trump, though it is to an absurd degree. That's fine. I'd take that if that's how critical they were with Democrats and every other politician. I'd rather have an overzealous anti-politician media. Fine, great. But no. It's the exact opposite. Some fucking kid in high school smirks while some fucking keeper of the sacred pipe Indian intervenes to help black Hebrew Israelite races. And they're like, oh, he's a punchable face. What a terrible guy. But Muslims throw a fucking bomb. And it's, well, let's not, We're in a lot of trouble, man. We're in a lot of trouble. I don't want to go back to the AI well again, but what percentage, for example, of Democrats do you think thinks the assassin of Charlie Kirk was a Republican Trump supporter? 60? 70%? Maybe more? As much power as we have on social media now, and the media, the distrust in the media being record highs, the truth is they still set the narrative. Even me! What am I talking about? Shit the media is talking about. And what will happen is when you have these debates, show me the actual DEI policy, show me the critical race theory policy, show me people, how many times you hear, show me people that were celebrating Charlie Kirk dying. You hear that now. Show me people that did lockdowns. And then even if you bring it up, they're like, well, one time. Meanwhile, they remembered like sacraments. The fucking every single January 6th and every single thing, every single talking point media story. What are we going to do when these motherfuckers have video that's indecipherable to the average person, which we're almost there, if not already there, and it's going to be like, here's Donald Trump assaulting a woman. Here's Donald Trump shouting the N-word. We're fucked. We're fucked. You can see actual video of a Muslim throwing a fucking bomb, and half the country's like, wow, white supremacy. What are you going to do when you have an AI version that shows a guy in a Klan hood doing it? I feel like I'm part of the problem. I talk about these fucking stories. And so it's the dichotomy. You remember after the Charlie Kirk assassination, I did this video and the left fucked with me over this, where I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck anymore. You're right. I am a hypocrite. I didn't particularly like Trump's, who the fuck was it? I can't remember. The head of the FCC that came out. It was like, oh, Jimmy Kimmel, watch yourself. Maybe we'll do an event. I didn't like that. But the problem was that became the news cycle. And so here's me like a fucking dupe because I can't help myself because I actually, even as much as I see what the threat is from the globalists and the left, I see the fucking threat. I know what they want. They want the extermination of my way of life. That's what they want. And I can't help myself. I understand why there are people like Cat Turd and Brandon Dilley and all them. It's money for them. Yay, Trump all the time. He could do no wrong. Trump comes out and says bomb Iran today, and we're like, bombing Iran's the greatest thing ever. If tomorrow he comes out and said I was fed fake intel, that was the worst decision ever, they'll go, we knew it. 4D chess, Mr. Trump. It's a joke. What's the utility of that? Why would you watch someone that's just confirming to your bias 100% of the time? It's why, look, I understand. These news cycles aren't good for me when it comes to my super chats. Me fucking with half my audience, like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Not good. If I just came on here every day, ignored the situation in Iran, and was like, oh, here's more fucking left-wing shit. Yeah, I'd do better, but I can't help myself. Y'all are like you're like my weird conscience. Where it's like, when I'm laying in bed and I'm talking to myself in my head, that's kind of like how I talk to you. This is what I think. It might be fucking stupid. It might be wrong. But this is it. And oftentimes it self-sabotages. Last year, Trump bombs Iran. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Blah, 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 blah. 50% of my audience is furious with me. Donos go down, views go down. What can I do? What can I do? That's how I'm thinking. But I know that's exactly what my fucking enemies want. Yes, infight. Focus on your own side. Yes. Ignore the fact that we just had successful insurrections. Over and over and over. We encourage people to engage in violent confrontations with ICE at the highest level. And we got away with it. And we assassinated Charlie Kirk. And all of our base fucking cheered it on. And the ones that aren't our base in the media and politicians said, well, he was a fascist, though. And we got away with that, too. And we got away with COVID. And we got away with the fucking spying on Trump. And we got away with the 2020 election. And stupid motherfuckers like me can't help myself but still say, yeah, but I don't like what the Trump administration's doing. I don't like what the Republicans are doing. I can't help myself. That's what I'm thinking about. So when I take a moment, when they're actively fucking cheering, shooting a guy like Charlie Kirk and saying, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not going to give you what you want. I'm going to keep focusing on that because you motherfuckers will do everything to take the focus off that. Oh, Rob's a hypocrite. Unlike these lefties, right? Fucking losers. Pisco's criticism of me the other day was, Rob's criticizing Trump, but not hard enough. Like that motherfucker said shit, any of these motherfuckers, when it mattered, against any Democrat. Over and over and over, we see the media. Oh, same fucking angle every time. Oh, Muslim could have been the greatest day. This CNN post, could have been an ordinary day for these two youngsters, but then they found themselves accidentally hurling fucking bombs, like you do sometimes. Go fuck yourself. Oh, sorry, we had to retract that story after enough pushback. It's all so tiresome. I'm fucking tired of it. And then you got to debate these motherfucking people when I debate them. Show me the proof. Blah, blah, blah. Show me. What story? Oh, it's not. What about that time Fox News was wrong? I don't like Fox. They're never going to admit they're wrong. They hate you. They want your way of life extinguished. It's not happening, but it's a good thing that it's happening. At least, I've come far enough that I literally do not give a shit what any fucking left-wing Biden voting motherfucker thinks of me. At all. I care what you all, even the people I dislike, or I don't want to say dislike, even the people like that dude that fucking argued about Kaj Patel and shit. I at least entertain and sympathize. I'd sympathize with everyone from Tucker Carlson to Nick Flynn. I'd sympathize with Candace Owens. But not David French. Not the Lincoln Project. Not Jake Tapper. Not Rachel Maddow. Not Abby Phillips. Fuck you. Fuck you. I owe you nothing. I owe you nothing but scorn and resentment and contempt. You hate me. You want my way of life extinguished, and I should treat you the same. I don't. I'll be affable and polite. I'm not tactical. The irony, of course, being if my worldview lives out, their lives would be better. You don't think I know that all I have to do is shit or get off the pot in like the Iran-Israel thing? You don't think I know that? If I came out tomorrow and was like, "Saw Israel, blah, blah, blah," my viewers would go way up. My donos would go way up. If I came out and said, "Fuck you, Israel all the way," my views would go way up. But I'm like, yeah, I don't particularly like them, but I don't know that they're responsible for every evil ever in the world. Whoa! Nuance? Fuck you! I meant this. After the Charlie Kirk assassination, another thing I got shit. I don't give a fuck. I'll work with Candace Owens. I'll work with Tucker. I'll work with fucking Nick Fuentes. I'll work with fucking John Thune. I'll work with Cornyn. I'll work with fucking whoever. These motherfucking lefties are insane. Never forget, they did not kill Charlie Kirk because he was radical. They killed him because he was effective. You watching right now, there's a 90% chance you're more right-wing than Charlie Kirk. You're just not as effective. Neither am I. It's not an insult to you. That's why they killed him. And then called him a fascist and made fun of his wife and his kids. No, Snake Driver, the fuck you's good. How do you motivate? I don't even know. I don't even know the fucking answer. I don't know. I got to sit down. I got to brainstorm for like a week and try to come up with like a plan of action. I know I've been fucking with the black pill people, and I'll never be black pill person, as we've already talked about in this show. But I sympathize. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know how to fucking motivate people. For me, the two incidents that fucking were the most depressing to me was the grooming gang scandal in the UK, where they could tens if not hundreds of thousands of young British girls assaulted, and the whole country just effectively shrugged. Diversity is our strength. We like the curry. And then COVID in the United States. And not the left-wingers, but the right-wingers. that I argue with. I've told this story many times. I was on this website, Above Top Secret. You get to know people on there. I've been there for years. All these constitutional conservative, 15 days to slow the spread. And I was like, are you fucking nuts? Are you nuts? That's when I knew we were fucked. Well, Jesse Marquez, you're absolutely right. To be a person of color that's conservative is even worse. Of course. Because you're debunking their lie by your mere existence. Everything about my life and probably yours is antithetical to wanting to be involved in politics. I like debating, so that's not antithetical. But the rest of it, I want to be fucking rich. I want so much money to be a fucking joke. That's what I want. By the way, send in your donos. Let's help make Rob's dream come true. You want to know how much money I want? You want to know? I want so much money that I'll wake up on a random day. My son will be in first grade and I'll say, hey, you're not going to school today. We're going to go to Applebee's and then to the zoo. That's the type of money I want. I want a car. You ready for this? That when I go to get it inspected, because in my state you have to get it inspected once a year, that I'm 99% sure it'll pass inspection. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy? A 3-story attic. Yes! A gazebo. A shed. I want to play a video game now and again. I want to read dinosaur books to my son. I want to make jokes to my wife. I like my circle of friends. From the bottom of my heart, I hope I die fucking redneck in this area. It is all I want. I don't give a fuck. I don't want the Bugatti. I don't want the fucking hobnob with the rich people. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's all putting on airs to me. I like my rednecks. I like this fucking part of the world. I like, to me, that fuck you money's like, if I feel like I want to go out to eat, I can, and I don't have to think about it. And guess what? Thanks to you guys, that's largely happened. I don't want to be involved in politics. The number one question they get asked most, when are you going to run for Congress again? Never. Or rather, not in the next 10, 12 years. Well, my son's still fun. Why would I want to go? I fucking hate politics. I hate Washington. I hate these rich motherfuckers. I hate these politicians. Why would I want to spend every day with them? Why? I don't want power. I don't. With all my heart, I don't. I want success. I want influence. I like to talk to you. I wish I was talking to more people. That's great. But I don't need to be the big man. I'm so fucking happy for someone like Andrew Wilson, who I agree with 98% of shit. Why? Because he's someone who's effective. Andrew's better than me in many ways. I still beat him in a political argument. But Andrew's a better Christian. Andrew's probably a better entertainer. Andrew's definitely a better networker. Andrew has like Charlie Kirk did. There are skills. It's one thing to be on. I talk fucking. I could do a show right now. I could keep this show going for 24 hours. No problem. I debate motherfuckers left and right. But you know what I can't do? I can't build a brand. It's not me. I'm not good at networking. I'm not good at like getting advertisers. I'm not good at like production. Andrew's great at all that shit. Like fucking obsessively great. It's a weird thing. You don't think of it as an audience member, but he is insanely good at that. He also happens to share my worldview and be a very effective advocate of it. I'm fine with that. There is no part of me at all that's like, I wish that I was in Andrew's position. Not at all. Are you kidding me? It sounds like a fucking nightmare. You know how many fucking phone calls that guy takes a day? My man Avarice will call me once in a while, and I like Avarice a lot. And I'm like, I'm watching fucking Paw Patrol with my son. That's what I want to do right now. When it's time to focus on the show and politics, I'll focus on the show and politics. But I don't really want to fucking do it when I'm not doing that. It's just, I say all this to say, I don't know if it comes across as true. Maybe people think I'm bullshitting. If I had to, I would. But if I die completely irrelevant and never fucking being a politician and never moving the needle, I don't give a fuck. I do it because I truly believe in what I'm saying. I get paid by fucking Israel. I get paid by Iran. I get paid by I get paid by you guys. That's it. Sometimes I get paid by the Crucible as a contractor if I do some work for them. If I do a debate course or something. That's it. I don't want to fucking hang out in Washington, D.C. I don't like cities in general, let alone D.C. I don't like politicians. Now, why do I bring this up? Because I think that's most of you. Your mileage may vary, but I think most of us, like right-wingers, are just like, just leave us alone. Just leave us alone. We're happy people. We like going to church. We don't mind that we're not the fucking wealthiest people in the world. We like our families. Leave us the fuck alone. Just leave us alone. Why is it that we always must be bothered in everything? We can't watch a show. We can't play a video game. We can't fucking go to a class. Everything has to have this bullshit fucking globalist progressive bullshit shoved down our throats. I'm fucking tired of it. I have left-wing friends. I'm happy that they're left-wing friends. They always want to bring up politics because I don't give a fuck. I don't want to talk politics. But that's the world we live in. Now I gotta fucking say, draw my line in the sand and say, no, fuck you. Now I have to make it political because you motherfuckers. Because my son. Because my apathy today is my son's battle tomorrow. Because this is the world I'm building for my son.
Sorry, laat rijden. Sta de film. Sorry, laat rijden. Sorry, zeg, we zijn alle drie koning. We zijn alle drie koning. Jij was sorry, laat
I'm not going to watch my fucking son go through struggle sessions because my weakness. Fuck that. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck about my race. I never did. People used to give me shit. By the way, they were right. I always saw the writing on the wall, but I thought there was a better way to go about it. It doesn't matter if I care about race. They do. It doesn't matter if I care about ideology. They do. And make no mistake, my and your inaction ensures that my son and your sons and your daughters, they're going to have to face the consequences of that. Because we didn't want to have to fuck. We just wanted to be left alone. I come on here, I yell, I scream, I rant, and that is me. It's authentically me. But if you knew me in real life, when I'm not talking politics, I'm the biggest fucking pushover you ever meet. I'm the guy that goes to the restaurant and orders a fucking steak, medium rare, and it comes out well done, and I'm like, okay. Or I order fucking chicken wings without blue cheese, and they drape it all over it, and I'm like, okay. Or someone cuts in front of me in line, and I'm like, And I don't know if I wouldn't have had my son, if I would have ever been as aggressive as I am. Because to me, that's the equation. It's him. What am I supposed to do? Shrug my shoulder? Oh, well, fuck it. I'm all right. I'm 41. I bought a house, $85,000. I feel rich, motherfucker. I got not one, but 2 cars. Actually, I only have one now because a friend of ours had to borrow because their car broke down. I could eat at Applebee's or Red Lobster even from time to time. Fuck yeah. I'm made in the shade, motherfucker. We have collectively failed. And it's not us that'll pay the price. It's the future generations. Oh, you're fucking right. Long John's is one of my all-time favorites. Even after I was mentioned on Joe Rogan, yes. Yeah. But it's not been a fun 2 weeks. It's not as bad as the Charlie Kirk assassination. I'm soft, too. That's the other thing. I'm fucking soft. You guys are, I'd say 95% of you are fucking harder than me. I got bugs in this motherfucker that I don't kill. That's how soft I am. I'm the guy, if someone attacked my son and I had to fucking defend him with lethal force, I'd be puking afterwards. I'd do it! But I'd be throwing up. I ain't gonna be like, fucking right. I would. It's not in me. It's not who I am. I was telling you that story. I'll fight. I will. I've done it. I've fought many times in my life, but I'm soft. I know it. I have a losing record in fistfights that I've been in. I don't have to fucking eye the tiger when it comes to that, like fucking trying to take people out. I just don't. It's not who I am. And I found myself in this position in my life a lot where I look around like, why isn't there someone else? Why isn't there? Why did I have to run for Congress? There's no one else. It's one of the reasons I'm happy that Andrew came along. I used to go in these debate panels. I'm like, why me? Why does it have to be me? I got to go in every one of these fucking constantly. People come to me and I'm flattered. I am. And I'm happy to fucking do it. Oh, did you see so-and-so? Destiny's on this panel. Go wreck them. Connor's on this panel. Go wreck them. Go wreck Pisco. Yeah, I'll fucking do it. I don't care. Fuck these people. I wreck them all the time. But I look around and I'm like, where is everyone? I mean, when I left my old job, I made $21 an hour. Well, in some change, maybe 21.30. I can't remember the exact. I worked insane hours. I was averaging like 80, 90 hours a week. Taking care of an autistic guy. Yeah, other problems too, not just autism. Believe it or not, I don't even know if that gentleman was diagnosed with autism, but I sort of miss it, if I'm honest. It was fun. But it sucked to be away from my family. Because when you're there 24/7. And I was there at a minimum 3.5 days a week. So half the week. Then when you get home, you got trainings. You got to drive to the office. This, that, and the other. $21 an hour. I've been happy the rest of my life, man. I would have. I don't know. I think about it a lot. Let's say Wade hits the fucking lottery, right? And Wade's like, here, Rob, here's $10 million to play whip songs for the next 3 months straight. I'd do it. And he sends me the $10 million. And then you know what I'd do the next day? I'd probably do a video and be like, hey guys, you're not going to hear from me for like 2 years. I'm buying an RV and I'm taking my family across this great country. But I'm good. We'll see you later. You know? That's it. My grandma, my dad's mom, she lived back this hollow, right? Like the hollow. And you know what her favorite thing in the world to do was? She'd sit in her porch and watch cars go by. Now, the irony is, where she lived, she was the very last house on this holler, which meant maybe she'd see 3-4 cars a day. I just want to be 68 years old and sit on my front porch watching cars go by while my wife's telling me, I got to bake cookies for the church bake sale. Our son's bringing your grandson around this weekend. That's it. That's the peak. That's the pinnacle. That's all I want. Die in a rocking chair, you know. That'd be fucking wonderful. But our enemies won't let that happen. You know? Just sell Wade the whip wheel. Yeah, there you go. Patent it, motherfucker. Live numbers are down today because Andrew is debating someone. And I would say 80% of my audience is probably Crucible people. So when me and Andrew stream at the same time, oftentimes, depends on what he's doing. In this case, a debate tonight. How's that going, by the way? You guys probably aren't watching. Let's see. Is he still debating? Yes, he is.
Which button would you push that you think would greatly increases your chances of going to heaven?
So, who Andrew? Andrew is my buddy who runs the Crucible. The guy he's debating is a moron. I just debated him last week, so. And is the idiot I debated. It's Speakeasy's the moderator. Nah, no stream sniping. No. But, I don't know. All this pissing and moaning, it's a good life. Things are bleak, though. Things are bleak politically. They really are. There's no two ways of putting it. It's fucking bleak, man. And I get it. I'm a big dick, and I argue with people, and I could be an aggressive asshole. That's true. It's certainly true. And I certainly yell and have an annoying voice. I get that as well. But I hope that it's appreciated that I am smart enough to know that if I just picked a side and stuck with it and never criticized it, that I would be doing better, but I can't do it. Thanks, Bo. I appreciate that. Crucible does do good work. Now, in addition to that, there's other shit going on behind the scenes. Almost all of it good. Some that's fucking crazy. But hopefully someday soon I'll be able to tell you about some of the shit. I'd love to get back to doing the daytime shows, but I just don't know how I can until I figure out a solution to how to stop trolls from calling in. I don't know if we do a call screener. I feel like I'm not big enough to do a call screener. Word War, they're starting a debate league. I'm going to be moderating some debates for them, but to be quite honest, for doing what I was doing with Word War, I just don't have the time. I put in so much time for that thing at Word War, and I'll just say, both from my perspective and them, it's not fair. It's not fair to them to have someone like for example, I fly down, I do Tim Pool's show, right, in Florida, and then Andrew's like, hey, fly up Thursday, let's do some debate course shit. Okay. I can't do that and the word war thing. It's not compatible. Plus, then my own show. So I hope they find. I wish them well. I think they're great folks, but it's just for what it is. I had prior commitments. It was different when Andrew was working with Word War. That was a different situation, right? Because when Andrew was working with them, well, I worked with Andrew, and so it was easy. There wasn't competing projects. It was, this is the project. But once Andrew's not working with Word War, then it's Word War's projects and Andrew's projects. And I'm trying to do both of them plus my own stuff. And it's brutal. And so they need someone that could give them full time. And I wish them the best. I'll still work with them. Absolutely. I like them. I think they're great people. I think it's a great idea for a project. I hope it succeeds. And maybe someday they'll be making billions of dollars and people will be like, Rob, what the fuck? You should have stuck it out just working full time with them. And I'll say, yeah, I guess so. But are they supposed to do another live event soon? No, I think they've transitioned more to doing sort of the online debate league, which will eventually lead to a live event. And who knows? I might still be working with them at the live events and stuff too. It's all a matter of timing. And but I'll say this: I put in a fuck ton of time behind the scenes for that first World War event. So make of that what you will. I mean, it was a lot of time I put in. All right. Did I miss any super chats? Our good man, Salty Caveman, $20 says, I got you, bro. Thanks, man. Blue Collar Point of View, $15. Thank you. Really appreciate it, man. And Lavin, $20 says, worst part about all these countries we're giving aid to is that if the tables were turned and it was just us in need, they wouldn't do shit to help us. With all the problems of sort of the United States as the world leader, and I certainly criticize the shit out of U.S. foreign policy and leadership, etc., etc. Is there any doubt that in the history of humanity, when countries were the global power as much as the United States, that they almost to a T would have acted worse? Any doubt? You won't find another race of people like whites to bully around that once they're the world superpower will be like, oh, but we're going to shame you and you'll feel guilty. Ain't happening. Nope. Well, you know what time it is. Time to pay the bills in the only way I know how anymore. I could work a real job or have political commentary worth of shit, but no. Instead, I owe 2 of these damn whip wheel spins. Here's the rules. We are currently at $303. Any $100 donation will play a whip song. I owe 2 right now. Oh, fuck. Anytime we get over a $100 amount, so $400 at this case, we'll play another. So in other words, if someone donates $100 right now, that would be 2 whip songs. One for the $100 singular donation, and second for getting us over $400. That means if you don't have $100 to give and you just want to give $5, $10 to make me miserable by playing these whip songs, you can do that. Because collectively, they'll bump over the $400. Hungarian war pigeons. Yippee. That sounds lovely. Okay. I think I remember this one. You'd think with a name like that, I'd remember. All right, this is for Wade. Chop Chop's the next one. We got to at least get to the goal of 357.
There's a way.
Oh, it's a banger.
There's a way. We don't want to go to war today, but a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, left. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right. A crack on the back says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more for. We are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war.
We did it! Oh, look at this.
Those are
Absolute
always
legends.
my favorite, Rob. I always love the whip.
Because you're a psycho. You and Wade.
What?
Absolute psychopaths.
Dude,
Psychopaths. So, yeah.
as long as I could be your psychopath, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. All right. Now we owe 3 more because Muddy Waters, $50 says, I really, really enjoy your show. Thank you so much, man. Look, all joking aside, I know we lost a quarter of our audience. That's okay. You have no idea how cathartic this show is to me. I particularly miss the call-in show. I really do. I'll get back to it. I'll explain someday why I can't do it in more detail. Trust me, there's a reason. Largely it's because of trolls, but there's another reason behind it. Anyways, it's a humbling experience. For years before I had a social media, I just felt like I was shouting in the dark, like sitting around talking to people in real life. They're like, eh. So the fact that I say anything that people enjoy is really inspiring. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Muddy Waters. Chop, another 100 says, gold challenge accepted. Give me my $2. Better Off Dead reference. All right, so that's 2 whip spins for this. We got over 400 plus the 100, plus I owed Chop previous. So we got 3 spins for Chop coming up. Of course, if you donate 150, you could just straight up pick the song. I don't know why you'd want to, but there we go. We've been getting the punk ones a lot lately, haven't we? All right, here we go.
I just want Disney, Rob. I really want Disney.
Well, someone will have to pay $150. Oh, this one. All right, here we go. Enjoy. Oh, wait. It would help if I shared it, huh? 1 shot of whiskey, and here we go. I can't even fucking operate the...
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Last says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. 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 Where there's a way, there's a way. Left, right, left. Where there's a way, there's a way. Left, right. Where there's a way, there's a way. Left, right. A crack in the back says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war.
Yay! Wow. 2 more. I have to mark
Unless
them down.
there's more donuts.
No, that's true.
Then there's more than 2.
So if we
Rob.
get another $47, that'd be another one. All right.
I believe, Rob.
You know, one of Hank's favorite songs is I Believe I Could Fly. And I don't know the ethical letting him listen to R. Kelly, you know. It's a weird. He loves the song though. It's on Space Jam, and he likes the Space Jam movie. So we were listening to the Space Jam CD. Oh
yeah.
3.5 minutes.
Oh, this has been a good line here. Look, you just need a little bit of dancing in, right? Maybe your lack of donuts, lack of dancing, Rob. Just
You guys said it? Well, I'm not dancing.
Where there's a
I'll
will,
do a head nod here and there.
there's a way. Where there's a will, there's
it's like an American classic.
Yeah.
We don't wanna go to war today. The Lord of the Lash says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a way, there's a way. Where there's a way, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a way, there's a way. Left, right, left, right, left. There's a way. A crack on the back says that we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war. There's a way, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Left, right, left, right, left. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a will. Where there's a will, there's a way. Left, right, left, right, left. There's a will, left, right,
So long. Gosh, man. I can't tell you how much I hate. I mean, that's not even. I just hate it. All right, here we go. One more. $47 till the next one.
You know what they say, Rob? Where there's a whip,
Yeah,
there's a
I've
way.
heard that. So I've heard. Oh, of course, the power metal disco Latin rock version.
This sounds like
Everyone's
something really long.
Everyone's
4 minutes.
favorite.
Here we go.
Oh, come on. Please, no. Oh, no. What am I doing? Oh,
It is 4 minutes.
oh man.
Get excited, Rob.
Sucks.
It's 4 minutes. Woo!
We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash says we're gonna march all day, all day, all day.
Head nod. You got to bash, Rob.
No, no.
Make a mosh pit in your office.
We're not even halfway done.
Says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war.
Way to go, Wade. Send in those donuts. Keep the whip going. Oh, and I love this chat.
Fortes over in Rumble. $10 says, hope you had a good night, despite the whiplashing in your eardrums. Yes, thank you so much.
Such a good fucking community out here.
Wade Boggs, $50 to take us over 500. Says, well, I'd be a fool to pass up a half-price whip song. There you go.
No,
So
you
Wade
would.
one. And then Chop Chop donates 100. Says, I just want Rob to like and hate me at the same time. Thank you. Mission accomplished. 3 whip songs. Oh my goodness. Pain. All right, here we go. Oh.
Welcome to the wonderful world of Normal America with Rob Noerr and whip songs.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Nothing. Christmas.
Oh. Unfortunately, this one's short audience, so we need
Is
another
it?
$100
Oh,
dono
thank goodness.
to replace this
Now listen,
one.
people get pissed when there's like a minute and a half one, but then no one says shit. This is 2 minutes. No one says shit when it's 5 fucking minutes. You know.
Well, you got to look at this. $10 a minute, Rob.
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip,
You know, you got to be animated with it, Rob.
This is animated.
oh, yes, why? Left, right, left. Where there's a whip, there's a way. A crack on the back says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war.
I can imagine the whole audience sing along. You know the words. Wait, box with me now. You know the whole audience is singing to that one, right?
I mean, maybe. The lyrics are the same. I don't know if you knew that, till.
I know, but that was the best one.
All right. 2 more. This is brutal.
You're not spinning it for everybody.
Pop punk again.
It doesn't count because it wasn't up for everybody to see.
Oh, well. There it is. It was pop punk. It
I
counts.
think it's a re-roll.
I would love to, but then people bitch about that. So there it is. Again.
I saw it spinning in the back, people. I know it was spinning.
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash says nay, 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 nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way.
listen, we're almost at 200% of the goal. I forgot to do the goal thing. We'll do it here at the end of the night. Now, last song, unless someone donates. Remember, at this point, I almost didn't bring it up. At this point, we'll need $97 to get a new one. Woo! I don't know if I've heard this one in a while. Oh, that's because it doesn't sound like electro at all. I forgot. Oh, piss. I just closed it. Bring it back up. All right, enjoy. Hey!
What is this?
It's called electro. Electro swing.
Says nay, 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 we're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way.
Remember that old one?
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where's a whip? There's a way. There's a whip. There's a whip. There's a way. Well, left, right, left. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Whip right, left. There's a whip. Whip right, left. There's a whip. Whip right, left. Where's a whip? Left, right, Da-da. A crack on the back says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night, and for we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war.
Hey!
Done.
There you have it.
There
Now,
we have it.
It's where they've gamed the system, so we're at $603. So $100 donation would play two more whips, one to go over 700, and another for the $100.
They've
But that's
gamed
it.
this.
Other than it's very smart. All right,
That's 2 for 1. So I mean,
Yeah.
but it's a Wade
Well-
Boggs. Here you go. There's a 2 for.
it's smart. It's smart. They're smart crew. It's smart. You know what I'll do? I haven't done this one. We did reach the goal, but I don't know how much I contributed to it. So let's. Yay!
There we go. We have it.
Oh, we did it. It is wrong. It is definitely wrong. Well, we lost half our viewers, but who gives a fuck? Those people are all dead weight anyways.
We had a good time as it was anyways.
Political. We're here for political commentary. Please. Everybody knows we're just here for the chair and the whip songs. You know.
That's why I'm here, Rob. Chair and whip songs.
Who sent me that? Someone, I can't remember who sent me that clip of the chair saying gold. Pretty good. Pretty good. Thanks, by the way, for We're Offended, You're Offended for the raid over in Rumble. Really appreciate it. As always. Well, anyone else want to throw some more donations? We're close to 200% of the goal. All right.
That is a twofer.
$111 away. We're also here for average. Look at that.
I got fans in the audience. Look at that.
Whee! I'll need a fan up here. Actually, my air conditioner's been going nicely. All right. I'm going to go take a piss. So, Average, you can say whatever you want or whatever.
Whatever I want.
And then I'll come back and I'll wrap up if no one else is going to donate.
You heard him. I can say whatever I want.
It's doable.
Whatever.
I'll be right back.
How you doing, chat and chair? Did you guys know that we have a robnoerr.shop? It's got some awesome hats and t-shirts. All right, maybe not those colors. And you can get your Rob Noerr sweatshirt, which I'm not wearing right now, but that's okay. It's in the wash. Who's out in the audience? Who do we still have here? Wade Boggs, Based. Chop F1 is good. Winning the fantasy league. It's because I'm the best. I've been going out on panels, crew out there, wrecking feminism at its core. Who was there? Who saw the Heaven Maxine skit? Any audience people? Who was there for the Heaven Maxine? Fucking hilarious. You know what we haven't done in a while he's at the bathroom?
This is the Rob Noerr Show.
Yeah.
It's not the Noerr Rob Show.
No, it's not.
This is my favorite show because it is my show.
I indeed did.
If this was your show, you'd probably
like it more.
But maybe that's just
This is because it was your show.
But it's not your show.
I feel like
It's the Rob
I don't want to put the headset on. That's really bad. You never know what's going on. Oh, my back is killing me. I'm going to have to get to the back doctor. All right.
Good show tonight, Rob. I'll let
Thank
you do
you.
closing up. Audience, pleasure to be here and back again tonight. And the best goddamn audience in the business.
Thanks, Eversman. We'll talk soon, man. Jess, Gerald, how have you been, man? It's great to hear from you. It says W Normal America, W Everest, W Chair. Couldn't say W 3 times. So, for those that have stuck around, thank you so much. I know there's other stuff going on tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Look at this. David Moore, $20. Says, watching Enter debate the circa, but wanted to drop Rob some love. Thank you. Debates are more fun. I'm trying to line up more. Now, I do have some bad news. I think my debate tomorrow night canceled over on Speakeasy's show. So we're going to push it back a week, which will be fine. But Jets Gerald gifted 20 memberships. Thank you so much, man. Gerald, one of the coolest dudes I've had the pleasure of meeting. I had a blast. We gotta do it. We gotta do it again. We gotta get some, not just more in-person Crucible. I happen to know that there will be some Crucible events coming up by the end of the year. We're still early into the year. We're only in March. But if you didn't go to DebateCon and meet everyone, my goodness, it's an absolute blast. My buddy, I met. Not only did I get to see, like, this was the first time I met Avarice in person, but Jess Gerald, so many cool people. Jungle F, fucking Jungle. Some like, talk about a dude that oozes aura. Jungle. What a fucking. I'll never.
Not to mention debate cons where we got the legendary
Yes!
jail jacket.
Jail jacket. Maybe Everest will give that back next time. So, yeah, we're only $77 away from the next whip. Coming out to do the blue. So once I get the new computer, here's the order of operations. I got to get the new computer set up. And I got some shit I'm dealing with in the background. I'm hoping to start the blue collar shows, hopefully sometime. Oh, let's see. Let's shoot for June, July. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my computer situation. I got a cheap laptop. I might have to just buckle down and get a nice laptop that I could do it. But man, I can't wait to do that. Those will be good shows. So I'm extremely lucky to be able to do what I do, even when the news cycle sucks. So once I get, I'm sort of putting shit off. There's some shit going on behind the scenes, but I'm sort of in a stasis right now because there's, at any moment I could get a call and it would markedly change my day-to-day schedule look like. There's potential offers on the table for different shows that I'd be collaborating with on a daily basis. And if that happened, so between that, computer situation, some other things going on, we will be setting up a ton more debates. I'm going to try to do what I can. And I think one of the things I'm going to do is just make sure I'm doing a better job joining some of these smaller shows, speakeasy shows, some other people that are doing them. Just go on, do some debates.
Oh, does that mean you're going to join me?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
argue with Avarice about Orange Lantern and shit.
Oh no, I'm a troll. Like mine are not logical whatsoever. I don't know if you got my recent viral one.
Yeah, well,
you heard about it, right?
Yeah, that's 90% of the people I debate.
Yeah, well, this Heaven Maxine one is fantastic.
Heaven Maxine is good shit.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So, all right. Well, you guys have been amazing tonight. And we are, unless someone's got, we're about $100 away from 200%. There'll be 2 more whip songs if someone donates 100, but that's okay. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you so much. Tomorrow night, I got to get a hold of Speakeasy. I don't think the no prep debate will be going. Maybe we could find an impromptu opponent. Maybe I'll just go over there and he'll do a panel and I'll just join a panel. If not, I could do a debate review or whatever. But you guys are the best. It's really, it's amazing. I can't thank you enough, especially when there's other stuff to watch tonight and you guys stick around for the stupid bullshit whip song stuff. It's really amazing. So we're going to do a full show on Charlie Kirk here soon. And also one on COVID and a bunch of other stories that get lost in the shuffle. We are going to do that. But I want you to take a moment and just think about Charlie Kirk. It sounds cliche. We talk about it every night. I'm just saying that's the future that so many on the left want. They don't want to outright exterminate you, but if you get it effective enough, they will. And they'll celebrate and they'll mock your family for it. So never forget that. All the clown show that's gone on afterwards, talking about his wife, his life, his family. Terrible. So just take a moment and think about that. A father and a husband. Taken too soon. Never forget it. Thank you to Avarice, my editor Black Elk, all of my moderators, everyone who donated money tonight. Chop Chop Wade Boggs, special shout out to you two, you lunatics. Everyone who stuck around to the end, thank you so much. We're going to raid over, I believe, to Speakeasy. So make sure you tell them hi. I think they're still covering Andrew's debate with Circa. I should be around 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So, all right. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll talk to you all soon. As always, have a good one.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.